Welcome to the Secret Sex Lives of Muslim Women. I'm your host, Salma Hindy. Today, we are joined by the one and only Maysoon Zayid and also our first inaugural guest of this podcast. So excited. Maysoon is a comedian, a legend, a disability advocate, and an all-around firecracker. She's here to talk to us about sex, marriage, disability, and what happens when you get divorced at 45 and then start dating again. Maysoon, welcome to our show. Super excited to have you here.
Salam, Salma. I came all the way from New Jersey and guys, this show, the hottest heat wave ever.
The hottest day.
Just to talk to you about sexy time. My mother's going to kill me. I hope you're happy.
Sexy time. This is huge.
Yeah,
okay. I'm trying to explain to people the stakes involved with this podcast.
Oh my God.
A Muslim woman in 2025 outing herself to her family that she's sexually active.
Oof.
It's like coming out in the 70s or something.
It's insane. It really makes no difference. I literally feel like I'm 16 years old. I'm like, should I even be doing this? Should I back out? Should I change the stories now? Because my mother will slap me with a slipper without thinking twice.
Still till this day.
Yeah. And I'm not the type to call CPS on my parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she'll slap me. She's short. She'll do it. But I have to do it. It's for the greater good.
Yeah. No, you got to do it. This is Maysoon, you're going to be the older sister that everybody wished that they had, the safe space.
I'm Teta. I'm not even an older sister.
Yeah, but you're the coolest sister ever.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so we have so much to talk about.
I love your laugh, Habibti. It's so cute. Yalla.
Okay, so your story is crazy, but you have many aspects to it, right? So let's start at the beginning. You once said that while many disabled people struggle to find partners, you have the opposite problem.
I did. This is really okay. So let me just quickly tell your audience that I'm not drunk. So I'm not drunk. I have cerebral palsy, and it's different in everyone. In my case, I shake all the time. So first and foremost, I was kind of a hot disabled chick because I vibrate. So that was the first thing going for me. And then for people who are listening and can't see me, I look like the Lost Kardashian, and I'm stacked.
You do look like a Kardashian.
Yeah. So I look like a Lost Kardashian, totally stacked. Instead of physical therapy, I went to dancing school. So I was wearing the, high hip, slutty ass tassels when I was 14. So everyone wanted to date me and everyone wanted to do me. And everyone knew that my dad would kill them if they even hugged me. So that made me even more desirable in my small town of Cliffside Park because I was the chick that didn't put out, which was super rare in Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did they know about your father? Did they ever see
How did they know about my father? Okay. So I grew up in a very small town in New Jersey called Cliffside Park. And as a comedian, I am obliged to say that my town initials are CP and my disability's initials are CP, cerebral palsy, and Cliffside Park. So there's a whole thing there. The Cliffside Park's 1 square mile. And everybody knew who my dad was because my dad was Mr. Mom. My mom, after she had me, she had 4 kids by the age of 26, went back to college. And my dad raised me and he took me to school and all that stuff.
Okay.
So everybody knew my dad, and my dad, mashallah, was 6'3",
right,
and would toss you into a different country and looked exactly like Saddam Hussein.
Oh my God.
Exactly. And this is circa 91 and stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they all knew him and they all feared him.
Okay, so you had the bodyguard father.
Yeah, big bodyguard.
Also, you were exotic, and so everybody
and
wanted
I vibrated,
and you vibrated, which turned everybody on.
I turned everybody on. I have apparently I heard this from my aunt. Allah yarhamhim. I apparently have an extraordinarily long neck, and that's also attractive to people.
It is.
Yeah, apparently.
It's very model.
No, I think it's because they can slide things down it because it's not squat. The people with just chin and shoulders. Apparently, we're more attractive because we have these long giraffe
Interesting.
necks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you sneaking? Were you sneaking around then? During that time?
No, because. So there's a couple of things in my life that I think about often. And one is that there was no internet. And if there was an internet, I would have been done. But sneaking around wasn't really an option because again, small town, everybody knew everybody,
right,
saw everybody.
Right.
So I didn't sneak around. I moved around in groups, and those groups then broke out into slutty time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it would be like, hey, I'm going out with like 6 girls, like Tina, Gina, Jackie, and Janet.
Right.
And then like we would just happen to bump into like, and then Aaron and Nick and I'm so shoe.
Right.
And then the groups would collide and so on and so forth.
So when do you remember like when you had your first kiss? And
I remember my first kiss and I'm so excited about this. Chris Alieri, you will see this. He was my publicist for like 3 years as an adult. I was 17 years old at leadership training camp. My parents were right. They should not have sent me to sleepaway camp because it was when I finally like gave in to Satan and had my first kiss. But it was a guy named Chris Alieri who ended up being like just so gay. Like grew up to be just so brilliantly gay.
I love that.
But like at the time he was like the vice president of like the state student council. And like every girl wanted to dance with him. And he wore like Grateful Dead like shirts and he was like the coolest guy. And he was the first guy that I ever kissed. And then like 10 years later, I bumped into him on the streets of New York and he was like, I'm a publicist. I was like, I'm a comedian. Whoa. And he represented me for like ever. Until he started doing like really good stuff for like LGBTQ advocacy and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my first. Yeah. No, all of my stories are wildly wholesome. Like my prom date, Mike. Like I went to the prom with a guy named Mike and I do a joke on stage that if I could have married white, I would have married Mike. So this guy, Mike, I went to the prom and he knew I wasn't allowed to have a prom date.
Okay.
So first of all, he let the limo pick him up second, which is not the way it worked. Like,
so your dad never let you have a prom date, but he would let you go out and he would let you go to prom. Like he let you go to prom.
Yeah, my dad let us. My dad let us do everything because he trusted us implicitly. Okay. Which is kind of why I ended up like not doing anything really, really bad. Right. Because it was like, oh man, he believes in me. And like, do I have to just be such a terrible person? You know?
Like the guilt was stopping you basically.
No, it was. So again, I'm as old as Haifa Wehby. People can look that up, whatever. But I grew up in the 90s. And so my fears were exactly this. I was terrified that I would get knocked up, like 100% that I would get knocked up. Right. And like, there was no way I was ever going to get an abortion. I'm not like, I'll kick you down the stairs. If you want an abortion, I'll tear a baby out of you for you. But like, for me, it wasn't my thing. So I was like, first of all, afraid I was going to get knocked up. Second of all, totally afraid I was going to get AIDS. And then third was getting caught by my dad and being killed. Right. And like, I knew my dad would never, ever kill me. I just knew that seeing him cry in disappointment would actually kill me. I would just wither and die at the disappointment. So that like fear of disappointing him, it wasn't guilt. It wasn't fear of being physically harmed. It was like he trusted us and I couldn't fail that.
Right. Yeah. I get that. It's like you also put on this expectation of yourself of like, I'm gonna make him proud and I'm not gonna let him down too much. But yeah. So
not too much, but there was definitely like, I made sure to cross the line push it as much as I could.
So did you end up like ever dating anybody in secret? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that came like after college.
Okay.
So like Mike, my prom date, he was like my high school boyfriend, that kind of innocent, like, that's the guy who I'm clearly with, but I don't even do anything, that guy. Then I went to college. I was like laser focused on becoming like a superstar and like really like just an intense theater student and like didn't have time for a relationship because of that. And then I graduated college and then I started trying to find a husband and like just like put this in your pocket.
So you didn't do anything all throughout college?
All throughout college, no.
Okay.
I was so theater in college. It was pathetic. And there was one guy that I loved.
Do you think theater cockblocked you from?
No, I think I cockblocked me because I was like, I must win my Oscar. But there was one guy I liked. His name was Chris Johnson. Okay. And he used the hell out of me. Like
he used you?
Yeah.
How?
He got me to buy him an Audi. I kid you not. $5,600 in like 1996.
Oh
so that's
You're not the first woman I've heard some men convinced her to get him a car.
You know how he convinced me? It was so sad. He was going to drive me around all the time. He was like, buy me a car and I'll drive you around all the time. I was like, this is awesome.
Why don't you just buy yourself the car?
Because I thought being driven around by a freaking pasty white New Mexico Albuquerque doughy boy named Chris Johnson
is like more romantic. It's like a more romantic.
I don't know. Like your assistant was like, "Do you want to use code names?" I was like, "No, I want to shame everyone I know because I do it in my comedy anyway." So. Yeah.
That's fair. So you literally bought him
well, first of all, I bought him a Metallica box set. I bought him K2 skis and I bought him an Audi.
Whoa.
With my disability, like what happened was the doctor who delivered me was drunk. So I had malpractice money that hit at exactly 18 when it should not have hit. It should have hit at like 30. Instead, it hit at 18 and I had gotten like a huge scholarship. Right. So I wasn't even paying for college. So I had like all this disposable income and I didn't know that the genocide was going to wipe out my career as well as a large portion of my people. Right. But I just sat there and bought him stuff and he never loved me back. And the best part about it was
so were you hoping he was going to love you back? Like were you doing
No, it was weird. It wasn't. So I was never pathetic. I was never like, please love me.
Right.
I just made really bad decisions. And so like with Chris, it wasn't like I was making him love me. I was like, I love you. I'll buy you whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
And so then when I bought him the car, he literally drove off into the sunset with a woman named Kim, who he married and is still married to today because, of course, I internet stalk him. And I've sent him messages. I'm like, you're successful. You should probably write me a check for $25,000, you asshole. So maybe that's why I didn't date. Then I got out of college, though, and I was crazy. I was
really
nuts.
So what made you snap? Like right when you got out of college?
I needed to get married. I had to get married.
You said
my 3 older sisters.
Wait, so you never told me if you dated in secret during this time? Did you?
No. The dating in secret started immediately
after college.
The day I graduated.
Yeah,
I was like, I shall now date in secret.
So, but were you trying to get married or were you trying to just get laid?
I was trying to get married, but no, I had no interest in getting laid.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of pathetic, yet interesting. So I think back about it, and I'm like, what was wrong with me?
But you wanted. No, why did you want to get married?
I wanted to get married because, first of all 3 of my sisters graduated college in May, got married in July. All 3 of them.
Okay.
Then the cousin that I was supposed to marry didn't marry me, which worked out well because I would have inbred babies.
The cousin you were supposed to marry. Please tell me. Did all of you guys were all of you betrothed to a specific cousin?
No.
Or just you?
No. So my oldest sister, Lemia, screwed everything up, and that's her life to talk about. But she didn't marry a cousin. She married a guy from like the village next to us. Second sister was supposed to marry a cousin, and my mother said no because she said it was dangerous to inbreed. But I was
interesting.
Yeah, she knew. She was smart. She was a medical technologist. So my disability my CP was caused because I was born on Labor Day. Doctor who delivered me was drunk and I lost oxygen.
Right.
So although I am inbred and my parents are cousins, it's not what made me wonky. But my mom studied medical technology. She didn't want us to marry cousins. But me and my cousin were like, F them, we don't care.
Really? So you had a cousin that you liked and he liked you too?
Guys, I liked him so
really?
Much. Yeah.
When did you talk to him? Like when did you even?
So
where?
First of all, I spent every single summer in Palestine.
Okay.
So I grew up in Jersey. So I would split time between Jersey and Jerusalem because I like the letters JER. Right. And I had a cousin whose like literal job was to like, okay, I can't even say it. That'll be too clear. And that's like the one person I'll cover. But anyway, his mom was like, nah, we're not taking the busted one. And she decided that he would not marry me. And she literally like, Saha moved him away.
Right.
Like they like separated us and stuff. So we never saw each other
again.
But I never
so it was like a forbidden
I never
love.
made out with him or anything, thank God, because I'd be grossed out now in the future from like the cousin love. But I really believe that everyone should say no to cousin love. And while disability is sexy, causing disability due to ignorance is not. But after that, I was like,
well, do you know about that? How the chances of you getting inbred with cousins is only like 2% or something like that?
No,
it's just if you keep doing it. Like
no, it's not.
It's
not. No, disability advocate works with the
how much percentage?
The number one cause of disability in the Middle East prior to the mass disabling event, that's the genocide in Gaza, was cousin love. 19% of all disabilities were caused by cousin love.
Really?
Yeah. You're thinking of like
I thought it was like a myth.
No, it's not. There's
like
villages. There's half of Egypt.
It's like cousins, children of cousins married cousins again.
I got invited to a wedding the other day. There were supposed to be 8 great grandparents. There were 2. And they were like my age. Okay. So like, it was like the moms were sisters, the dads were brothers, the moms and dads were cousins, the cousins were brothers. It was like people are going to have tails and it needs to stop. So number 1, I wanted to get married like my sisters did like the month after college. Then I wanted to also show my aunt, like I married like a billionaire. Like I was really aiming high. And then also my Jersey girlfriends, my Italian American friends started going down like dominoes. And I was paying tons of money for their weddings, like so much money.
You were paying for their weddings?
Yeah, because you have to pay for an engagement gift and a bridal shower gift, bachelorette party, bridesmaid dress, the accessories. Then you have to buy them luggage or some shit, like a wedding gift. So like all those things made me want to get married. And the least interesting thing to me was getting laid, because at this point, like I knew how to take care of myself because I wasn't like sitting looking for like outside people to entertain me. Because I was like, oh, I'm not going to put out. Right. So
were you a virgin up until this point?
I was I was a virgin up until I got married.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Jesus year, 33.
Ooh.
Oh, such a letdown, man.
Wow.
So anyway, now I start secretly dating, but not only am I secretly
How old
dating,
are you at this point when you're like
I'm between 21 and 27. I'm secretly dating like nobody's business. Okay. And the first person I date is a literal Broadway river dancer.
What?
Yes.
Wait, okay, hold on a second.
Casey.
So you started dating, you said that you started dating like it was nobody's business. Okay, so the drive to get married and to have a wedding and to catch up to your sisters and to get gifts and attention from your friends, at that point, that overpowered like you letting your dad down. Or like the guilt that you felt towards your dad.
Because I still wasn't going to screw those guys. Right. Part of the I'm going to get them to marry me was not giving them the milk.
Okay.
Like I was going to be like I'm so gorgeous and I'm so like everyone wants me and you get to have me and you get to be the only one. Like the virgin thing, that really worked because like I hung out in clubs. Like I was a comic. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine the virgin? Like everyone wanted to pop me. Well, everyone.
Yeah, I've been celibate for the past year and a half, and I know what it's like in the comedy clubs. People are like circling you. They're just like
now. See, people now because of how old I am, people don't circle me anymore.
No, but you gotta come. You gotta hang out at the club. Just on a cash night.
Now I walk in and people are kind of scared and bow slightly towards me. Like I'm sure I could take any of the younger comics to the bathroom if I wanted, but they don't approach me. Anyhow, so I date a river dancer and I totally think I'm going to marry him. I don't marry him.
You dated a river dancer. What was that like?
Chaotic. It was so chaotic. It was
what
like
was his lifestyle
it was like a continuous line of cocaine, just a never-ending highway line of cocaine that I wasn't taking. He flitted about all the freaking time, and like I'm neurodivergent. I have cerebral palsy, and the constant flitting and tapping and attention seeking was it was unbearable.
Wow!
But he was stunning. Absolutely stunning. He was so good looking.
So what did you like about him? Like, what did you guys do together?
What I like about him,
just his looks.
I liked that he was on Broadway, I was like aspiring and super young and could go to all like the cool parties and the Tonys and stuff. I actually went to the Tonys. That was crazy.
With him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And my friend Mary taped me into my dress and she used duct tape and I almost died because I was like sweating and unable to breathe, but it was fine. And I liked that he was totally broken. He was so broken. Like he didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he wanted. He was just like so broken. And it was like he had everything. And it was such a like broken dude, and it was just fun. I don't know. I like.
What did you like about
him.
that? Like that he was crazy, basically.
That he was crazy.
Yeah,
he was crazy. He was on Broadway. He was gorgeous.
Like he was spontaneous.
No, he wasn't spontaneous at all.
Okay,
because he was on Broadway. He had 8 shows a week, so it was pretty scheduled down to the minute. You know? But like I said, the parties were amazing, and I was with like one of the hottest guys. I have this thing where I've been with the hottest guy in the room a lot.
That is so. I love that for you, though.
A lot,
as you should.
Like the guy that I'm with now is like ridiculously stunning to the point where I just kind of stare at him every once in a while. I'm like, mashallah, you know, like I'm afraid I'm gonna curse him. So anyway, Riverdance falls apart. Then I start.
So how long did you date Riverdance for, and why did it fall apart?
1.5 years. His mother.
His mother. Why?
We went to visit his mother, and him and his mother lived together, and she read my tarot cards and said that she didn't see me getting married. And then like
she didn't see you getting married, period.
Like ever.
Okay, well, you proved her wrong.
Yeah, I did. And I think that might be the only reason I got married.
It's worth it.
And then their relationship was Norman Bates-ish.
Stop.
Yeah, but
ew, there's so much of that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they were. I don't think that they were doing each other.
Oh,
it was
the
more
fact
like,
that you have to say that though is like
no,
so
I know they weren't
unsettling.
I know they weren't doing each other, but like if anyone ever watched Sex in the City, it was like Bunny and Charlotte's husband. Like they were too close, and she hated me instantly, like right off the bat for no reason.
Right.
I mean, literally, it wasn't like she was a Zionist. Like I don't know why she hated me. She wasn't.
A lot
like,
of moms are like that.
You know, she just didn't like my vibe. Like I wasn't it.
Right.
And so then I started dating a Palestinian Lebanese Christian.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he was divorced, and he was 17 years older than me.
And you're in your 20s at this point.
Yeah, I'm in my 20s at this point, and I decided to go live in Palestine for a year.
Whoa.
So that I can like save the children, which I still do to this day, and I haven't saved shit, but like I make them laugh. And so then I dated that guy, and that guy I was 100% sure I was going to marry, 100%, and I made out with him a lot, and he was the everything.
Wait, say that into the camera in a very sexy
I made out with him a lot, and I was way sexier than him, and that's when the everything butts. I say everything but the butt started, which is like where you just make out with people and basically dry hump them like a Mormon until everyone has fun.
Right.
But
what about oral?
No,
my God. Comes up. Oh, that's not everything but. You know what? Do you know what people are doing?
I'm talking clothes on, not everything but the butt.
No. When you say everything but these days.
How about when the oral part only comes like after I get divorced? I know.
You never had oral throughout your whole marriage?
No, it wasn't never. It just wasn't my game at all. But let's get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the dude that I started like making out with. Like groping started happening.
Right.
So like everyone else, I was like, I'm gonna kiss you. Like this is a Hallmark movie, and it's gonna fade to black.
Right.
And him, I was like, okay, I can lick most parts of uncovered body, you know. and he wasn't. It wasn't even that he was hot. I think I just like that.
You just gave yourself like the permission.
No, I just got old. Like I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like I can't do this anymore. And so I totally thought he was going to marry me. He dumped me because I toured too much for stand-up comedy.
No way.
And listen to the douchiest thing ever said by anyone. He kept saying, I'm an A personality. And when I'm around you, I feel like a B. And I was like, dude, you're like a D. And I brought you up to a B. So like bow down and be grateful.
Oh my God, that's so true. We have to have an entirely other podcast episode about powerful women and men being intimidated to date them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I end up marrying Chef UG, and I met Chef UG the same year that I was filming a movie with Adam Sandler. And this is only relevant.
So wait, this guy dumped you, and then how much after did you meet?
16 minutes.
Stop.
Yeah, like 12 minutes maybe. I was like, you come here. Yeah, they were back to back.
So you never took a break? You never?
No, I never. Okay. I never took a break from when I graduated college until I put a ring on it. And I was serious. Like there's so many like failed relationships in the middle that are great. Like I was engaged to a guy that stole all my shit one time and ran off. And then I caught him because he was stupid. And that's a different podcast. We'll just have a spinoff, my destructive personal life. So then I meet my ex-husband, who I call Chefugee because he's a chef and a refugee. I meet him in a refugee in Palestine where I'm going to
a refugee camp.
Yeah, in a refugee camp outside of Bethlehem. And I dated him for 5 years and I never wanted to marry him. And he kept breaking up with me because I wouldn't marry him.
Really?
And he was super...
So why date him then?
Why? Because he was there.
Right.
That's not a good reason. So, okay. So 33-year-old me is now starting to be like, oh shit, I'm not married.
Right.
I'm making bad choices.
Right.
And it was almost completely because I was like touring like 200 days a year.
Right.
And like it was me and Dean and Aaron and like they were my brothers that I was constantly with. And I was just not meeting men. And where I would meet men was Palestine.
Right.
And wherever I met men in Palestine, they would propose to me like 17 minutes later, like I said. And so this guy, he just like never gave up. And like 5 years in, I was like, fine, whatever. Right. Like at this point, I need to have kids.
Which is like honestly alarmingly the story that a lot of our moms tell about meeting, you know, our fathers. They're like, he was just, you know, he stuck around.
Yeah, he stuck around. He didn't marry a Spanish woman. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's like usually what happens with our men here in Jersey. So anyway, I wanted to have babies.
Right.
I wanted to have babies. And so that was the real catalyst of being like, that's it. I'm marrying this guy. It doesn't matter that I'm not like head over heels. Right. It doesn't matter that I get to hang out with like gorgeous rock stars that love me. No, this is the dude I'm going to marry. I'm going to marry Chefugee. So I marry Chefugee. I bring him to America. We attempt, I know you want to hear about the wedding night. I'll get back to that. We attempt to have children for 6 years, completely fail, miscarriages. And like just, it was a total S show.
You tried for 6 years.
6 years. Wow. I tried. And then I had a miscarriage that my heart stopped for like a split, like couple of minutes, whatever. And I was like, I'm done. And then we went to adopt.
Where it was like risky on your body. Like
it was me. I just constantly miscarried. It was me.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with the cerebral palsy. It was like me. It just didn't work.
Right.
I think that my body was like, you do not want to be tied to this man for the rest of your life.
Have you ever heard that theory that like spiritually, if you're not feeling like fully comfortable with the person, the partner that you...
No, because like people are, you know, exposed to sexual violence and they have children. So,
but it's different when you're you want
when you're actually the one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
So then we tried to adopt, and adoption in the United States of America is completely discriminatory. It's basically run by Christian charities, and we're Muslim. Right. And I was like, why did I check Muslim? Okay, so wedding,
you didn't get cleared.
So wedding night, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm super excited. Like I applied this out. I have like the perfect Victoria's Secret outfit, and the day of my wedding, I break the only bone I've ever broken in my life, my ring finger on my right hand.
Stop.
Yes.
How did you break it?
Someone was shaking my hand and they twisted my fingers over each other. And I have cerebral palsy. So like I've fallen down stone stairs in Palestine and popped up like a weeble wobble, like nothing happened. This guy shakes my hand at 5:30 the day of my reception, breaks my finger in 3 places. I have like this huge wedding reception with like 400 people on like lamb chops and the guy who sang.
And where was it? It was here in Palestine?
No, it was here. I'll tell you why it was here. Because we give better gifts. So like in Palestine, they're giving you like $1 and feeling it. Right. And here they're giving you like gold.
Right.
Like an actual gold coin, right? But I had, from Broadway, I had the guy who sang Pinball Wizard originally and Tommy come and sing Pinball Wizard at my wedding. And I was like wrapping my finger with chopsticks and tape. And I was like, I ain't going anywhere. This wedding is going to happen.
Whoa.
And all of my bridesmaids wore black, by the way, and they got to pick any dress they wanted. So they didn't have to spend money. And almost everyone has a black dress.
Right.
Anyhow, I'm done. I can finally like get it on. And I spend my wedding night in the emergency room at Palisades General in Cliffside Park, having a doctor fight me and insist that I'm not shaking and that he's setting it right. And if you look at this finger, you can see it was not set right, and it will never be set right. So that was my wedding night and also the beginning of my marriage. And I believe that set me up for the rest of my life. And so I have always been very hot to trot. Like I'm very hot. Like I run hot, right? I'm a dancer. I'm a comedian. I'm Palestinian. I'm from Jersey.
You're a firecracker.
Like the beach. I'm a firecracker, like you said. girl, I married someone who was not a firecracker. Like, I guess a wet blanket is what you would call them. But anyway, the dude that finally got to tap this wasn't really quite that interested in it. And so
what was it about him? Like, I know, so you're open about how
I don't know.
Like the sex life was very boring. Very boring.
It was boring, and it wasn't
not
just boring.
adventurous.
We had that stupid Muslim thing, right? So I'm a devout Muslim, and we've had this conversation. Like, I believe in blah blah blah, and I study Quran, and like I believe that like we each have our own message in the Quran, and you and I could read the exact same sentence, and with a pure heart, we could understand it differently. Right. Okay. I only preface this whole conversation to say, anytime I wanted to be creative, he would guilt me in a way of like, where did you learn that? Who did you learn that from? And it was never like, oh, were you watching Mia Khalifa? You know, your sexual mentor, apparently.
Wait, so he shamed you for bringing any creative
it was worse. It was worse than shaming. It was like, who taught you this? It was an implication of cheating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was he insecure then? He didn't have a sexual past?
Oh no, he had the worst past.
Really?
Which is another big thing with Palestinian men. So like in Palestine, when we went to do like the Teta Biktab, we had to get a blood test to make sure that none of us had like STDs and whatever.
Okay.
And I had to get a blood test, but he didn't. And I was like, wait. He nailed half of the freaking Middle East, and I'm the one that has to get a blood test. So like he was legendary. He was like a little Casa friggin' Nova, and
then he shamed you, and he almost in his subtext accused you of being unfaithful or whatever.
Both, either of being a hoe before we got married,
right,
or of
actively being a hoe.
Actively being a hoe,
right.
There was hoeing involved.
And do you think he had like the Madonna whore complex? Do you know that complex?
No, I think that he slept with a lot of women who were cheating on their husbands prior to marrying me.
Right.
And so that was like kind of the expectation.
That he thought you were going to cheat on him.
But why was he thought everyone cheated? I think he thought everyone cheated.
Why was he so boring in the bedroom is my question.
Why was he so boring?
If he fucked half of the Middle East.
This is very controversial, and he'll probably deny what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I don't think he ever really liked me. I don't think he used me to get American citizenship, because he did get American citizenship. But if he was using me for citizenship, he could have divorced me in like 5 years. This dude stuck around, and I was like, go. Like, I divorced him.
So why did he stick around?
So why did he stick around?
If he didn't really like you.
First of all, I think that my lifestyle is amazing.
Right.
And that people don't like to leave my lifestyle. Sorry, I just made a random noise. I think my lifestyle is amazing. I think he made a commitment to my father. I got married 1 year before my father passed away, Allah yarhama. Okay. And I think that commitment to take care of me that he made to my father, he took so seriously, because my father was a fantastic man and a mentor to him. And I always say that I think if my father hadn't passed away so soon after I got married, maybe he would have mentored him into being the man that could have handled me. But again, I am wild.
But it's not, I don't think it's that he couldn't handle you. I think it's, I mean.
Well, there's a quote, I'm going to quote like an Instagram meme, and I don't know who's saying it, but she says, if a man says you're too much for him, you are. And like, I was always too much for him.
He said that to you?
No, I was too much.
Right.
He couldn't handle me.
Right.
It wasn't that he said it to me. I was frustrated by the lack of happiness I had because he couldn't keep up with me.
Right.
He was frustrated by the lack of domestic life that he was provided because I wouldn't stop running.
Right. So you were at different paces and you had
but like
different lifestyles.
If there was a reason to slow down, I would have.
Interesting.
I wasn't given a reason.
So you didn't like him that much too.
Well, that's a really mean thing to say that I won't admit to.
That's fair. You can neither confirm
what
nor
I'll
deny.
Say is that like whatever that version of love was, it feels similar. I only have 3 older sisters. I have no brothers. So I think that it feels similar to what a sibling brother-sister relationship maybe would have been.
Right.
Maybe like, because it just, I don't like I definitely love the guy, you know what I mean? Like
that's the thing. It feels more of like a kinship. Like your father passed and then kind of like handed him the responsibility of you over to him.
Well, this is why I always tell Muslim girls not to marry who their parents want them to marry, because then your parents die and you have to wake up next to this person every single freaking day.
Exactly.
Now, my dad was super cool about the fact that like no harm would have ever come to me if I had married anyone other than like a Palestinian Muslim.
Right.
Again, I just didn't want to disappoint him.
Okay, yeah, we're down to like our last 5 minutes. I want to ask
what?
you.
We haven't even gotten to now.
I want to talk. Okay, so let's talk about now. So you got divorced in 2020 in the middle of COVID.
I did.
At 45.
Yes.
And now you're dating someone gorgeous. So what happened after you got divorced?
So first of all, COVID was the breaking point because my Refugee, my ex-husband came up to me and he said with a straight face, I have a brilliant idea. I'll marry a second wife and I'll have a baby with her. I'll spend 3 months a year with her, 9 months a year with you.
No.
She'll have the first baby, second baby I'll just give to you. I was like, I'm the foremost Muslim voice in America. And I've made it clear that the Quran says you're not allowed to have 4 wives. You can only have 4 wives if you treat them equally. Only God can treat 2 people equally. You don't get 4 wives. It's haram, right? So I was like, and I'm talak, which means I'm divorcing you right now. So then after I got divorced, everyone said I would be sad, but it wasn't sad because like a month later, I was like, oh my gosh,
you're free.
Like Atlas shrugged, like you took the entire world weight off of my shoulders. Wow. I loved being single. I had no intention of ever being in a relationship again. Then I get the Pfizer booster shot. It paralyzes me from my nose to my toes. I have to have 5 blood transfusions from my neck. Takes me a year to get back on my feet. I get back on my feet and literally like my first trip back to Palestine, there he was, like right in front of me. Way older than me. Not who I would ever imagine myself with in a billion years. And now I'm like, smitten kitten, just like risking everything, life and limb for this friggin' fool across from me.
So he's gorgeous and he's older.
He's gorgeous. And he's so much older and I will never, ever, 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 ever get married. But like, I can't decide if old is so old now because I'm old. Because like when I think of being with like a guy that's almost 70, I'm like, that's insane. And then I'm like, oh, but I'm Haifa Wahhabi's age, so is it really that crazy?
It's kind of, it depends. It's woman to woman, honestly.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I no longer have any of the fear of getting knocked up because I'm a billion years old. Right. I'm not afraid of STDs anymore because we live in a modern world where like you test and you protect and you blah, blah, blah. And I'm no longer being slut shamed because that's it. Like I'm a slut.
You're a slut. Say into the camera. I'm a slut.
Haram. I am in free. Halal mode at all times. And maybe or not, there was a muta wedding. Maybe I might be married. I might be.
Okay. I heard that you used to, like, you've always shamelessly spoken about sex. You're the girl who goes up to girls at weddings, to brides at weddings and gives them like a little advice. Yeah. And you named it how to avoid marital rape.
Yeah.
Can you please give us that spiel? Because so many women, I think, need to hear it.
Okay. Well, I think that it's grotesque that we don't prepare our girls for their wedding nights. And that I know girls that had no idea what was about to happen and no idea about what the male anatomy was.
Right.
So if I don't get to talk to them before the wedding itself, I go up to them at the wedding and I tell them, you don't have to actually have sex tonight. You can have a conversation with the groom and you can start off with kissing and work up to sex. Sex doesn't have to be the first thing you ever do.
Wow. And do you think you were the first person in their lives to tell them that?
I have had so many girls like freak out and start crying the night before. So like I've been around a lot of girls the night before. And as they're packing their little lingerie, I'm like, do you know what you're wearing? That nasty ass outfit your mom bought for you that should not even be worn by the skankiest woman that ever like that one, made a. Anyway, I'm not shaming anyone, but like that chick who nailed like 2,000 men should not be wearing some of the lingerie they put these brides in.
Right.
And when I tell them what's about to happen, they start crying.
Oh my God.
They start crying. However,
It's not like that anymore now.
Changed.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Now they have the internet.
Yeah.
Now at 12 years old, everybody knows what it means to suck a dick.
Right.
But like, also, I just want to be very clear. This is for no one. I am not a skank. And like, if my mom ever happens upon this podcast, we were just making jokes.
Okay.
And none of this was true.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you said that I could be anonymous, but I don't want to be, because I want to inspire disabled chicks everywhere to not settle for someone who steals their sunshine, really just steals their sunshine, because that hot guy is out there.
Yeah.
And by the way, looks aren't everything, except at my age when I'm really not looking for anything else, they are.
Okay, what's one thing you would say?
Sarah's just dropping shit and sneezing and like, I don't know.
We'll wrap this up, but
because Maxim's gonna drag us out by our hair and
Maxim's gonna turn the lights off.
Way.
Okay, what is something that you would say to disabled girls who are listening to this right now, who look up to you and who really think that they don't have a chance?
Please, being alone is so much more fun and cool and loving and awesome than being with someone abusive, someone who denigrates you, someone who dehumanizes you. Don't think that someone doing you the favor of like dating you because you're disabled is someone that's like, oh, he's doing me a favor, therefore I have to put up with bullshit. You don't. You deserve to be treated the best, and don't settle for anything less. And anyone who says they don't want to date a disabled chick, fuck them. Don't date them. I mean, don't fuck them.
Don't fuck them and don't date them. Perfect. Maysoon, thank you so much for doing this episode with us.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been attracted to a dude that's not Palestinian.
To a dude that's not Palestinian?
Mm-mm.
Period.
I know. I feel so bad.
If you want to romance Maysoon, be Palestinian.
Better be Palestinian.
Oh, Maysoon, you're a legend. Thank you so much for being on this show. Thank you for being so open.
I highly influenced you in some way in your lifetime.
Absolutely.
Alhamdulillah.
You got me. Oh my God, Maysoon, wait. It was a dream of mine. You were at New York Arab American Comedy Festival 2018 was my first time ever performing in New York City on a stage. And I reached out to you and I emailed you and I said, I'm coming anyways. I'm gonna just watch. And then as soon as my plane landed and I took it off airplane mode, I saw an email from you that said, come do 5 minutes.
Come do 5 minutes.
You changed my life, Habibi.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Habibti.
Thank you. And that's our first episode of
By Shining Misfits, my book. It has nothing to do with sex. It's a middle grade book. I feel bad even promoting it now.
To any mothers out there,
yes,
buy Shiny Misfits by Maysoon Zayid. You can find that online.
It's a Scholastic. It's Scholastic book. Read America. You can find it everywhere online. ShinyMisfits.com.
Amazing. That's the end of the episode. Please come back for our next episode where we're going to be talking to more Muslim women about their sex lives. I've been your host, Salma Hindy. Thank you so much. This show is co-produced by Sara, Hussain, and our studios are in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you to my friend's basement. Follow us online and support us on Patreon. And rate the podcast if you're enjoying the show and send it to your fellow Muslim female friends. See you guys next time.